Could you give us 7 social media post ideas for people to go out and do this week or the next month?
Video is highly engaging. You can put it on every single platform. It doesn't need to take a ton of time being edited or being really perfect. And it's definitely a muscle. Like the more that you create video, the better that you get at it. But when you think about social media being as a way to set yourself apart from others in your market, like introducing yourself and your team is really a great way to do that.
Hey, how's it going? It's Tim Brown, and this is the Plumbing and HVAC Hustle Podcast. And today we're talking about 7 social media post ideas for HVAC. And I mean, this is going to relate to plumbing too. Today I have Jen McKee on from Hart Marketing. How you doing, Jen?
Good. Thanks. Thanks for having me.
Hey, could you just give like a minute background of how you got into this and what you're doing now?
Yeah, so I've been doing social media since 2018. I realized really early that it was something that people needed help with because of the amount of work that it takes to execute. So I didn't start in the trades industry, but fell into it accidentally around 2021. And it's been a blessing. It's such a fun industry to work in. And I now have an agency where we do both organic and paid social media for plumbing, HVAC, electrical, even a roofing company. So we're just
Let's
expanding.
go. We love all these niches. We love these people. So besides the post ideas, which we're going to get into right quick here, but we're also going to talk about like where to get content, how to get content from your people or from yourself or from an outside company, where to edit them, what apps we're using, and then some other tools and how to edit them or elements of the video, like key things. So this is going to be a pretty comprehensive podcast on social media posting, really.
Yeah, agreed.
So, could you give us 7 social media post ideas for people to go out and do this week or the next month?
Yeah, so I think that in general, a lot of trades companies have had a boring social media presence, and not because they're boring, but because they think they just need to post about HVAC or air conditioning and nobody cares that much, right? So, some things that we found that work really, really well and can help you get in front of more people and help your social media be an asset. One of them is celebration. So, celebrating your team, their birthdays, anniversaries, celebrating the things that you're doing in the community, the people that are winning the prizes that you're putting out there. Another one is testimonials, and either, screenshotting them off Google bare minimum, but you could also
Mm.
take pictures in the field, selfies of yourself with customers, and then post that review as the caption. Anything with people in it does better than anything else. So we always try to put people in all of the posts that we're doing. Um, we like to do memes, and memes that are relatable not to other people in HVAC, but memes that are relatable to the homeowner. Memes are also a really great way to educate. So things that people are constantly not doing, like changing out their filters or getting regular maintenance, you can create memes about that type of situation. Um,
Yeah, I always find so I do a lot of memes. One of my thing is like just the problems. Like I know who my ideal customer is. If you know who your ideal customer is, you can just write down like their gripes. Like if this is their gripe, this is their gripe, problem, or problems we've seen with like either other contractors or just home problems that are really annoying. And
yeah,
it's almost like you kind of like push on the wound a little bit if they're like the leaky sink won't stop kind of thing or whatever
right.
it happens to be. I think pushing
Yeah.
on existing pains. All right. Sorry.
Another meme that we do, just thinking about memes, especially for HVAC, is weather related memes, which is pretty easy and funny. And so you don't even have to talk about HVAC, but still you're hitting on that, like being relatable to people in your community. So you're talking right to the right person and talking about comfort, home comfort. so
Absolutely.
um, so Meet the Owner can be a really good one, and you can kind of do this over and over again, but that tends to be a super, super engaging post. I know it's hard to talk about yourself, but when you think about social media being as a way to set yourself apart from others in your market, like introducing yourself and your team is really a great way to do that.
Mm. I might do that one today. That sounds fun.
It is, right? So we really love a multi-picture post. So on Instagram, that's called a carousel, where it's like multiple photos. So we do that like a photo dump type thing. So it could be like day in the life or a life lately at blah blah blah. So this is like the easiest thing that you could do. It's literally just taking pictures off of your photo camera roll and posting them on with a very short caption. It's can be pretty highly engaging.
Jen, can we do a little like aside there for a second? Are you a big the Instagram feed has to be aesthetic or
No,
not? No.
I'm not. No, because very few people are looking at your profile like holistically.
Hmm.
When we're looking at your social media presence, we're trying to have it be an asset, and to be an asset, it has to be in the news feed. And so we're trying to get you in the news feed more than we're trying to make your profile look good.
It's
Like,
funny how many people get obsessed with that and how it holds them back on posting more often.
yeah, it holds you back. And like a lot of times people will post things that don't make sense by themselves. So it's like it wouldn't make sense in a feed alone, you know? So that's that's a big
Yeah.
thing. On the other hand, we do care a lot about branding. So what's great is that a lot of our customers have very, very strong brands. They have great uniforms, great looking trucks, great looking offices. They can dress their kids up and their dogs up and their beers up with their koozies, and we can get some really great branded photos that help keep everything aligned
Hmm.
without having to like edit it a ton with a ton of graphics. We don't like to use really graphic heavy posts, and we always like to include people.
Mm, love that.
That might have been six, it might have been seven, but my very last one is using video, which I know we're going to talk about a lot today, but video is highly engaging. You can put it on every single platform. It doesn't need to take a ton of time being edited or being really perfect. And it's definitely a muscle. Like the more that you create video, the better that you get at it. But because of how engaging it is, because it gets in the news feed really easily, that's definitely one that we prioritize.
All right, well, let's talk about how to get the content because it's for a lot of people, it's scary, which I don't think it should be. I don't think it should be. I mean, like, but what do you suggest? What are your favorite ways for people to get the content?
I think there's a lot of different ways. The first thing I like to do when we first start working with someone is say, like, just empty your camera roll. Like, all the things that are on there, ask your team what they have on the camera roll, have them empty it, whether it be like in a Google Drive. We try to make it as easy as possible. So if you want to send it to us on Messenger, if you want to send it on Slack, like whatever that is. The next thing is we send over a shot list. And so I actually have a free shot list if that's something that anybody needs. So it's not something that you have to like search high and hard for. You can take that shot list, start trying to execute it on your own with your iPhone or your, whatever, getting some of these pictures. You can give it to a photographer. I've hired a photographer for myself locally for under $1,000, like closer to $500. So it doesn't have to be this really expensive investment that some might think that it is. And then you can use these photos all the time. And then some of our clients will incentivize their team, have contests, whether it be like whoever can get the most of something wins at the end of the month, whoever can get the most viral piece of content. So looking at the whole month's content and like, oh, this video got the most views and the most likes. So we're going to incentivize this person the most. We have one client that incentivizes or celebrates their team every month. And then at that team meeting, it recognizes the people who got the most content. I think a big thing too is like once you start involving your team in it, a lot of times like we'll get connected to the team, either it's a Slack channel or a Google chat where we're kind of like encouraging them, but celebrating what is performing well, celebrating the people that are getting the content to really help get that buy-in.
I like that. Man, it's crazy how contests do a lot. We did a review contest. I thought my people were asking for reviews, and then I did the contest, and we got like 15 in a row in like a week.
I did the same thing and we got so many reviews, but it is also now I added it to my team's KPIs. So that's the other thing, is making it a part of the system and a part of the expectation for your team already. If they're using Service Titan, they're getting photos like before and after of things. And so I know that there's like daily checklists. You can add to that checklist like a selfie or a video or something like that. And then, of course, there are the clients that have on staff photographers and videographers, which makes it, of course, a lot easier. But that is something that you can add to the team as a part of your marketing team.
Let's touch briefly on that ideal scenario. So folks that are a little bit bigger that are listening or watching, what is your ideal scenario for them if they are at that place where they may consider getting an in-house videographer? Do you suggest that videographer also does social, like is their social media manager?
I have not found that to be the case. They're definitely two different skill sets. So,
By the
uh,
way, I also feel that. I have tried to do it before and it multiple times, and it is, yeah, it's not the same person. It's
yeah,
the person who's good at video and edits video and even maybe shoots video, which in a really developed company you'll have literally a separate person who shoots the video and a person who edits the video, which
hmm
I'm not going to suggest that. That's a little high and mighty, and I'm not there yet either. But like that whole thing is a lot. It's a lot of skills, and they're all in one person. And if you make them do social, like particularly well, try to do it well. You could have them post some videos, but I'm saying like to do social really well, it's not just videos, right?
right. Yeah,
So it's like basically being real. The better you get, the more you'll be able to separate things out. And
yeah,
it's okay to define what you'd prefer eventually. If you have to have somebody do multiple jobs, recognize they get sometimes burned out quicker, and you might have to get rid of somebody even though they're okay at one of those things because they're not great at both, and that makes sense.
yeah, for sure. It is hard. I mean, even in my agency, I separate out video from social media because although it is good to have knowledge on both and to understand the way that the platforms are, somebody who's creating and editing video is not necessarily somebody who understands all of how social works together.
So are you the social person for your company, for your brand?
No, I have account managers that, because of how collaborative our relationship is with our clients, everybody has an account manager that is like how we get the content that we need.
Yeah.
And then even for my brand personally, it's hard to do your own social media. So I have somebody that does my own social media. I do my own videos because
Yeah.
it's easy, fast.
I'm just saying life goals. I want to not be, I'm the one that does our social media, and it's,
You
I
could
want,
hire it out and it'd probably be easier than you're thinking in your head right now.
I like that encouragement. But that is one option, right? You can use your own phone. We were talking about that. Like,
Right.
you can use your own phone and post stuff. And I think, like, for the scrappy upstart people, you have to be resourceful. You have to do a lot yourself. I'm sure you experienced that, Jen, where, like, for a while, it's just everything's you. You're like,
Yeah.
who's on payroll? Oh,
Yeah.
it's me.
Yeah.
The good news is there's only one person, but, and who's doing accounts receivable? Who's doing social media? It's
Right.
like me.
Yeah.
So once you can kind of like slowly pass some stuff off, it obviously helps. And that's why it's like also like those first $2 or $3 million, like maybe you could, like, I don't know, what size of companies do you guys work with at Key Hart?
Many homes suffer from inefficient HVAC systems due to leaky ducts, leading to uneven room temps, lost airflow, and higher energy costs. AeroSeal's innovative sealant technology targets and repairs leaks, improving airflow and efficiency. Increase your customer satisfaction, increase sales, and offer a unique market advantage. Become a leader in HVAC efficiency. aeroseal.com.
So we started where we were working with a lot of like 1 to 3 million, but the right support that we need is really more around 7 million. So it just depends. Like and everybody has different levels of how involved they are. And so, but
So
definitely,
do not get at Jen if you're under 5 million unless you've got some serious, like, you're going to put effort into getting her stuff, because she doesn't want to just sit there and try to extract content from you like a tooth.
Yeah, I mean, and we have a lot of clients that are 1 to 3 million. Everybody that we work with is really growth oriented and working towards getting to those next levels. So I think that in order to invest in social media, you definitely are growth oriented. You understand that social media is a long-term play. It's a lot like SEO. Like you're not going to post today and be like, "Oh my God, all these people called me tomorrow." Like it's not going to happen. It's like a
There is a lot of
longer
wishful
game.
thinking around that, though. Like
Yeah.
occasionally we get a very wishful client. I'm like, I don't think I told you that. But what about pro photographers and videographers? Like, when is it appropriate to tap them, and how have you found that to be good?
I think more people need to invest in that. I think a lot of people are thinking that that is like an investment they're not ready for. And I think under $1 million, you could invest in a photographer to come out and get some great photos for you. So I always tell my clients I'm willing to help them find a photographer or videographer to come out since our clients are national. But a lot of people hesitate with that. And I think that there's really a missed opportunity there. I just think there are some people that work with videographers that they have come in like once a month that will come and shoot, 12 videos or something like that. Um, so we do have a few clients in that area, but the photography thing, I think at every level you should invest at that yearly or every other year to have someone come out and get some great photos for you.
Yeah, just throw it on a yearly rhythm.
I think
It's
so.
Yeah, it's crazy how much better that all looks. Like a couple $1,000s for some just like really,
It doesn't even have to be that expensive.
but
That's
I'm
what
just
I'm
saying,
saying. Like
yeah,
it's
okay. Well, respect, but I'm just saying like at max, right? Like max, and
right,
like it's
Max.
not enough. I mean, it's not so much like it's crazy. Some people just aren't aesthetically inclined, and I'm not dissing on you, I promise.
Yeah,
Like people do make decisions because you look professional, and you look
true.
professional when you hire professionals
No,
to
it's
do
totally
photos.
true. And I mean, that's like website too, right? I
Yeah.
mean, that's why website is so important to invest in. There's really a difference in a website that looks good, is responsive, has accurate information,
Yeah.
and it's the same with your social media. But all of that to say, I do want to point out that your both static posts, your pictures and your videos can be, they do not have to be professional. And there's a lot of advantage to having those casual, like
Oh yeah.
candid photos on your social media because and especially with video, and I know we're going to get into more video stuff, but in general, I see some people that I'm like, you're spending too much time on this. Like you're over editing. This looks like you've used every editing like thing that they let you put in there, and now it
Mhm.
doesn't fit the feed and it doesn't look like something that people watch on social media, and so
Yeah.
therefore it's not really getting into the the feed, the for you page or the real stream or whatever.
So we've got like a couple more topics we're going to talk about here: where to edit them, how to edit them, a couple tools. But to round out that thought, there, quality. So first of all, we're talking about a couple different things. Professional shoots for like things like commercials, very intense, especially like photos for really nice stuff, your website, etc. And then social content. Sometimes the selfie does better than the like superposed thing, right?
Right.
And then with video, quality does not just mean the look of the video. I've
Yeah.
I've learned a lot about that. I just finally got a mic after 400 pod or 350 podcasts, right? I actually had other ones, but this is like I finally like got the nice one that all the podcasters have, right? But I was focused on quality in a different way. Like what is listenable and watchable content? Like that's what I'm trying to learn about because you and I both know stuff that goes viral or gets 100,000 views or whatever that was like the most throwaway piece of content you've ever seen in your life, and then bam, right, it blows up. But if that's what people wanted and that's what people watched, and then you look, I've had videos where like 2 years of watch time, right? Like that is a type of quality, not just the like the edit. Because if you do even 10 seconds of intro drone clip with like really nice video, like a really nice like panorama or something of your office, they're not watching anymore. It's done.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Because
matter how high
it's not
quality that video.
exciting.
Yeah,
Right.
it has to be hooks, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. But
Yeah.
but where to edit them? Where do you edit content? Where does your team edit content?
So most of the video content I create is for TikTok. I love TikTok as a video platform for a lot of reasons. It has high visibility. It's easy to get in front of people. You don't have to have a following. It has a like-based algorithm, which means that like the meta platforms, Facebook and Instagram, are really based on who you know or who knows you, like who your followers are. And even then they're showing your content to anywhere from 1 to 10% of your followers. Whereas on TikTok, it does not matter who knows you. What matters is if you're talking about something that people like, or if your video is similar to one that other people like. So say all that to say, TikTok is my favorite video platform. So I edit in TikTok and I create videos specifically for TikTok and then repurpose them and repost them on other platforms. CapCut is a free app that's connected to TikTok. A lot of the like meme apps or meme videos that you see are created in CapCut. So there isn't any disadvantage to using CapCut. Like people are still going to see them. So another
right
one
now, July 2024, you'll see a lot of these like green screen over the top memes.
right.
They're doing well. So like,
Oh,
if you
they
wanna
do
mix
so
those in,
well. Those
right
are
now,
so
like,
easy to make.
yeah.
Those are like easy to make. You don't even need any video. You can use pictures. You can use, if I hate stock images, you can use stock images in CapCut memes. As long as it like makes sense, it
They can
doesn't
be
matter.
ugly. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy how it's, for whatever reason, TikTok, probably because their sister company is
Yeah.
CapCut. They're
Right.
loving these green screen memes. They're algorithmically favoring them. I like watching them.
Right. That's
I
the thing, is
like,
that people can relate to them and they share them.
yeah.
It works out. I didn't mean to cut you off. Did I cut you
No,
off?
I cut you off. We're just gonna do that a little bit. Excuse me.
And then I believe my video editor uses Descript, but I do ask her to do any text or closed captioning in TikTok because there's an advantage to using the TikTok features. So we try not to do anything that looks like it's edited out of a different platform. We want it to be native to the platforms that we're using.
That's a really big tip for people. If you didn't hear that, say that again for people, Jen. And why does it matter?
Well, so whenever we're putting like text on the screen or using closed captioning, we do that in the TikTok app. And that is so when the algorithms crawl it, it's easier for them to see what we're talking about, the keywords that we're using, the hooks that we're using on the screen. And so Gary Vee wrote a book that he released this year, Day Trading Attention, and he talks a lot about platforms and culture. And it's like my favorite way of describing what we do and why we're good at what we do, because we have an understanding of the platforms and the culture. And that's what I think some people don't have. And that's what makes social media such a struggle for them, is when you don't understand the culture of TikTok and how people are talking about things and how videos are getting information across. And you try to create in a silo of what you think works or what you think looks cool and post it, then it doesn't work. And so we take into consideration the cultures of the platform and the nuances of the platforms and create content specifically for that.
Absolutely. I'm just going to tap in here for 1 second. We love Premiere, as well as another video editing thing, just because sometimes we like the B-roll on Reels.
Yeah.
I love putting and you can do that in a lot of these apps, but I like the like granular control of the getting B-roll in the right way. So especially for our night, like if we think something's going to do really well, sometimes we'll do like really kind of like layered B-roll on things. And but that's just one more tool. That was definitely like if you have a video person, sometimes they might use that. So to note that.
And Premiere is Adobe, correct?
Yeah, Adobe. And then we'll mix in some tools from the platform itself to make sure it's, I think I bought in on that idea that like as much of the in-app tools as you can use them. It's good. Talk about grabbing videos from TikTok and getting them onto other platforms. What tools might you recommend?
So in our agency, we use repurpose.io, which is a really, really cool tool because you can, at the click of a button, post from TikTok to Instagram or TikTok to Facebook, TikTok to LinkedIn, TikTok to Google Drive. YouTube Shorts is one that we post manually because we get no views when we use the robot. So we
That's
that one
crazy. They said
that one's
nope.
really specific.
Interesting. I've seen that a little bit too. So it's always an experiment, like in
Right.
just for like day trading attention, which I'm also listening to on audiobook right now. He talks a little bit about like you gotta test stuff. Like if
Yeah.
we say this and you're listening to it in July of 2025, something might have changed. And
Yeah.
so you have to try stuff. Like maybe those green screen memes are doing terrible for some reason right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of always the moment. And what I've noticed is you let the views you let your strategy, which is like, what does he call it? He calls it strategic organic content, SOC.
Yeah.
So you let
I
your
love his vocabulary words
Yeah.
in that book.
Yeah. use the strategy, and then you use views and virality to kind of to draw you towards, because I would not have thought the things that have done well for us have done well. So you learn from those and you incorporate them in, you try to keep it strategic, and you kind of go back and forth. Unfortunately, it does feel like the really strategic stuff sometimes falls on its face because it's like, we know you're selling, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, if you can figure that out, you're going to be a master. His suggestion is take stuff that's viral and then put a call to action on the end of it, or
Right.
try to make different versions of something once it goes viral, because people want to watch that, and then put your call to action out over it, which we've done a lot of, like pulling other people's stuff, reacting to it with the green
Right.
screen over, and then putting our little logo on it and maybe even our .com or whatever. So there's different things to do, but like we said, it's like you got to react to what's actually working for you
Yeah.
and try to inject some strategy without killing it,
Yeah. Yeah. I like to think of it like a science experiment. Like, and that's why it's like not that serious, you like
Mhm.
post, I mean, and it sucks when you spend a lot of time on something, but you post like you do your
Yeah.
research, you like see what's working on the platform, see what's worked for you in the past, see what other people are doing, and you make a hypothesis of what you think is going to work based off of this information that you have, and then you test it and you look at the data and see how well it performed and if you should do more of it or if you should do less of it, and then you make decisions based on that, and you just keep going in a circle. But in your social media content. So we definitely, over time as an agency, we're always looking at like, this is performing really well, this isn't, or like, hey, this is performing well in general on social media. Let's see if we can turn it into something that performs well for our clients, and kind of like make adjustments as we go. So we definitely are always kind of adjusting our like content strategy based on what we're seeing.
I love that. And the knowing the nuances of the platform part is kind of crazy, to be real. Like it is difficult to keep that going, and that's why like having specialists in this area could really help your business. So we know that. What about how to edit them? What are the elements of a video that does well from what you've seen lately?
Okay, so controversy is one that we play on a lot, and not like controversy and like anything polarizing, but more of like controversy in your industry. So one is like what temperature you keep your house thermostat set at. Like we've done that video for a lot of our clients, and
Yeah.
we've gotten multi-million view videos from that. So something that people have an opinion on is like the controversy that you can add into your content. So we love to play on that.
Still a lot of money chasing these transactions. There's still really good outcomes out there for sellers. It's good to have someone like us in your corner, because we're not emotional, but guess what? When you're selling your business, it becomes emotional, and so it's really good to have an intermediary, there every step of the way. www.sfpadvisors.com. All the contact information is directly on the website.
We've definitely done it, like obviously for our content, it's because we're not doing social media for clients. our content has been glove or no glove for some reason on letting out refrigerant or like reclaiming it. And the other one we did, which I don't suggest doing this one, but it was controversial for us. We did basically like what HVAC unit won't last, like wouldn't last 10 years or something.
Oh, I saw that video. Did you do that as a video or something? I saw that piece of content. I thought that was really cool. That was a good one.
So, and then we did what one is most likely to last 50 years, which everyone was like, nothing. But that one did really well, like millions, or like 600K or something. And then, like, for whatever reason, I followed a HVAC tech around for the day, and he was talking about wearing layers in the sun. And because
to stay cooler.
To stay cooler. And for, like, I would say, like, not a hot take, but hot takes, controversial opinions, and then like here, like it's like why? Because I always look at people with like long sleeves and the hot, and I'm like, why? And so like if you have that response to something, ask the question, especially like if it relates to your niche, especially if it relates to home comfort, right?
Right.
Why? Because then, and that I think that goes in line with your temperature one too. That's a great one. Any other like topics like that you've seen take off that are fun? Because I might try them, by the way. Sorry.
I know we have another one in plumbing is things that you shouldn't put down the garbage disposal because a lot of people just get it wrong. Another one that we talk about in plumbing a lot is flushable wipes. And sometimes we get a lot of controversy with it and sometimes we don't, but it's because so many people don't understand the dangers of using it. And so they will anyway. So like things you shouldn't put down the drain, things you shouldn't flush down the toilet. For some reason, I know I'm stuck on plumbing right now, but a water heater flush, like people are like, I don't need that. I've had my water heater for 50 years and never had any issues with it. So telling, like sometimes educating people is you get a little bit of controversy. I know we've had another one for HVAC. We've had a couple other ones. I just can't think of what they are right now. But so we kind of see stuff like that and play on it a lot. And we like to involve the team. We like to do like multi-answer, which I know you've done in some of your videos, but you ask people the same question, like multiple people the same question to get their answer.
It's perfect, man on the street, because then it's not you, and you can do that with anybody. Like you could literally go outside of your office if there's like people, you just go 3 people in there, and then if they say something that other people disagree with, it's not like them disagreeing with your company,
right? And
it's
like
just
put that one first, like put the craziest one first. There was one we did the other like yesterday because it's ice cream month, so we asked our clients to ask their team what flavor ice cream they like, and somebody said eggplant, and of course like the whole internet is like, what are you talking about, eggplant? Like, so I still don't know what they were talking about, but anyways, so that's more like, you know, content of the video, but just things that we always make sure that we have. A big one is making sure that your camera is wiped down. So like whatever lens you're using, whether it's like the front or the back, but anytime I take a picture or record anything, even if it's not for social media, just for myself, I always wipe the camera down. And if you've never done this, first of all, your next picture is going to be incredible. You're going to think you got a new camera because like there's probably so much buildup on your lenses. But every time we're on the phone or it's in our pocket or in our purse, it's getting so much dirt on it. And so wiping it every single time before you take any picture or record anything, it makes a huge difference in the quality. Making sure that people can see you. So like having good lighting, window facing is really all that you need. Making sure that people can hear you. You can invest in like $15, $20 mics off of Amazon so that people can hear you more clearly. So just like basic qualities of it.
For my favorite brand there, I do love DJI mics. It's a drone company, but they're the little lav mics. They're really convenient and they pop right into your phone. I know that there's cheaper ones, but I think these ones are really, really solid. So the DJI lav mics, I'm just going to recommend those.
Cool. I'll have to check it out because the last time I used my lapel mic, somebody commented on my video that it sucked. Yeah. Somebody was like, your mic sucks. I was like, thank you. I appreciate you. Whatever.
Thank you for your engagement.
I know. Thanks for the comment.
Once you get deep down this rabbit hole, you're starting to thank haters and everything. Because this guy was like, This guy was trying to insult me on my video yesterday on Instagram. HVAC Hustle, by the way, follow us on Instagram. And I was just like, hey, thanks. Don't forget to hit that follow button. I need guys like you. I need people that are a little mad.
Right.
Because I don't care anymore. Like I've gotten mostly over it, unless they go for like the jugular, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, right. These people don't even know you. And anytime like
Yeah.
my clients get hateful comments, I always tell them, and like I can't even find this quote, but somebody told me this one time and it stuck in my head, this Dan Kennedy thing, that if you're there is a quote, I don't say it right, but like if you're not pissing people off, you're not reaching enough people. So anytime that we get hate on our videos, I'm like, it's fine. Like we reach so many people that reach people that hate us. That's great. And so like
Yeah.
if no one's saying mean things to you, you're definitely not reaching people, which like our whole goal on social media is engagement and reach. So yes, it sucks. I'm not saying like it feels good to have people say mean things to you. You always have to remember it has nothing to do with you, honestly. It has to do with them, because for someone to take time out of their day to say something hateful to somebody they don't know is like says a lot about their character and not that much about yours. So and then you can always
Yeah,
get his feedback. Like that guy said my mic sucks. I'm like, you know what? You're right. It kind of does suck. Maybe I should get another one.
DJI. So, and another thing I do is like take a second. Like, if it triggered me for a second, it doesn't mean I have to respond in a triggered way.
Right.
I can take a half an hour, forget about it for a second, come back to it. And what I try to do when I do come back to it is make fun of myself. Most of the time I sit there, like I try to like be like, and you wouldn't even know the half of it. I'm actually whatever. You know?
Yeah, like be silly.
Somebody called me old. Like they're like, this guy looks like super old or something like that. And I just came back to it and I was like, hey, the worst part about it is I'm only 38 or something like that. I did look particularly old in this video. And then he was like I don't know what he thought was going to happen, but he's like, I was just trying to fuck with you or something. And then it's just kind of funny because that is most people that are doing that. That's what they just want. It's like bullies. They just want
right.
a negative reaction. If you do
Right.
something like that lightly makes fun of yourself, but you don't care, it's
Yeah.
kind of crazy. They literally just like are like, oh, I didn't get the reaction I wanted.
Yeah. And I mean, on the other hand, in especially in home services, there will be times where people who are not happy with your service comment on your social media post. And that's when it's really important to take, like, to consider what they said. And you're
Yes.
right, like reacting to it triggered is the wrong way to go about it. It's probably a good idea to have somebody else help you respond, or at least read over your response before you respond. It is good to respond depending on what it is. Like if someone's just being hateful and rude, or there is a time where it's okay to delete and block people if they're just trying to attack you. But if people have valuable feedback or really are dissatisfied with something that you could have done differently, I think that there's a place for responding to that. So there are nuances to that. But if it's a random person on the internet who you don't know and has no ties to you, then there's a different way of going about responding.
That's a really good distinction. Any other like edits or elements of the videos that you want to recommend before we get complete here?
Yeah. So a hook is a really good one that I don't think that we've talked about. You have like 2 to 3 seconds to catch people's attention in a video. And so that millennial pause, or like not cutting the beginning of the video where you're starting the camera or like about to start talking. Anytime I edit a talking video, I edit out all of the pauses, but that first one is important. What you say right away can catch people's attention. What you're wearing, what you're holding, like what is your environment that you're in. All of these things can be things that hook people in and make them more interested in your video. So that's why recently we've seen those like videos where something really crazy is happening and then like another person cuts in and like pretends to be the end of it. It's because they're grabbing that hook from that previous video. So
that's
you
a
can
big
do
one right now that everyone can go do. Look for these things like the person splashing the water and then
right.
they just dump water.
Yeah.
Like that one's gonna be dead and it's probably dead now. But the point
Yeah,
is
it's like almost dead because everyone's doing it now.
Yeah.
But
But that principle, do a bunch of those right now. You have five 3,000 view videos just waiting to happen if you go steal those
Yeah.
from somebody
Yeah.
else who's doing this well. I know it's not the most original thing in the world, but it's working now.
Right. And that hook is what gathers people in. So no matter how great of something you have to say, if you don't catch people's attention at the beginning, they're never going to hear all those things. So it's really important to like say something to catch their attention, have that text on the screen that catches their attention, have something like grab something as you, even like movement can help stop people from scrolling. And so there's a lot of different tricks to hooks. And then a couple other things, we do turn on geotags for our home service businesses. So that means that whenever we're posting a video, we're also tagging the city that they're trying to get into. Our hashtags we do use, and we put hashtags for the city that they are in, along with like maybe HVAC or something like that. But those city hashtags are really important. And then anytime we're doing a talking video, we're always turning on closed captions because people listen with the sound off sometimes, or people watch with the sound off. It also helps with that hook of those first things that you're saying. It helps the algorithm see what you're saying. And there's a lot of hard of hearing people out there, myself included. And so when you have those closed captionings, it really helps for you to be able to read.
We really packed in some value on this podcast. So if you don't have a few ideas for your social media, you ain't trying. And the first thing you got to do is try, and then later you'll get it, right? So you have to try a lot. And we're trying to encourage you to try a lot so that you can learn some stuff. And then if you think about it as experiments, like you said, that's exciting. That's hopeful. That loosens you up. You got to be playful. Most of these platforms, people are not on there for your business's content. They're on there for
seriously.
entertainment and enjoyment. And if you can't give them a little bit of that, it's going to be a tough road to getting any views, unless you're the most charismatic founder that Jen and I have ever seen. And we're proud of you.
Right. You don't have to be that person. You're so right.
Yeah.
It just takes trying. It's a muscle.
All right. Well, where can people check you out and start services with you?
So my company is Key Hart Marketing, but it's spelled KEEHART. So we're Key Hart Marketing on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok. I actually have a secret channel, which is where I share all my goodness. And I don't even fully know the handle. I believe it's marketing, the number 4, plumbing HVAC. And then keyhartmarketing.com. I also have keyhartmarketing.com/links, which has a bunch of free stuff. I believe it even has what I talked about with that shot list. I have a freebie that has the shot list and how to optimize your bios, and then some really great content ideas. So I try to give as much as I can. And those are all the places that you can find it.
Jen, because I had like 50,000 alerts while we were chatting, do you know how to turn off all the miscellaneous alerts while you're on a podcast?
The do not disturb.
Yeah. You can do that? You can do that on Focus.
You can do not disturb on your computer and on your phone.
Why did I not know that? I haven't even tried. So I just have bring all the time while I'm doing podcasts. I am 100% keeping that on forever.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't forget to turn it off.
Yeah. Well, I'll get to them. Appreciate you being on. You are amazing. If everyone doesn't know, Hook Agency also does marketing services. We do SEO, PPC websites. We would love to be a referral partner with Jen, and we're trying to figure that out too. And we appreciate y'all for joining. Please like, comment, subscribe. If you really got some value out of this, which I don't know how you couldn't, could you take 1 second to go review us on either iTunes or Spotify? That's huge for our business. And please follow Key Hart Marketing all over social. Thank you guys, and we'll talk later.
Thank you.